All right, guys, here we are. Let me just say, hey, thanks for attending our leaders monthly meeting. Last week we had to reschedule because due to schedule. But here we are tonight, and we're going to be talking about Frontline Focus. So thank you guys for making time to invest in yourself so that you can be a strong leader for yourself and a strong leader for your teammates. I'm very, very proud of you guys for all showing up. So let's go ahead and dive in. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat and we will address them. Or if you have any ideas that you'd like to shoot out, remember this is a leaders page. You guys are welcome to take the lead at any time in the chat, or if you want to come on the group page and share some ideas in the leaders page, you can do that of how you're leading. So just remember, you are a leader and you have access to everything that we do here. Okay, so let me just say a quote to start out that Orville had said about leading. He said, when this business is no longer about you, then you've made it in this business. When you are a leader and this business is not about you anymore, then you've understood the assignment, for those that say that. Because leadership is not about you. It's not about me. It's not about, we do benefit financially when we have a strong team. Yes, all of that. However, leadership, the actual action of leadership is not about us. If it is, then why, if it's about us, then why do we need any followers if we're just worried about ourselves? Why do we need a team if we're just worried about ourselves, right? Once you have made it into leadership, which means you have one teamie, I don't care if you're promoted or not yet, just because you haven't promoted or you're stuck in a title, that means nothing. You can still be a strong leader, a present leader, a loving leader, a connected leader without everything else. But we're going to work up to that this fall because we have a huge incentive, right? We're Hawaii, Florida. What are you guys going for? Put it in the chat. Tell me what you guys are going for. If you're going for the trip, which I hope you are, because there's really no reason you shouldn't, and we should all be sitting on the beach in Hawaii, or we should all see each other at SFR in Florida. Nicole's going for Florida. Yes. There you go, Bora Bora. Ariel's going for the top 50, baby. There's no reason we shouldn't. Okay, so it starts tonight. Well, it started August 1st, but it starts tonight when we're really going to start focusing on our front line and building a strong bench. Okay, building a strong bench. What does that mean? The people that we have personally sponsored. There's a portion of what I'm going to talk about tonight that talks about your downline that doesn't have a sponsored present. Maria said Hawaii or Orlando, Disney World, baby. Yes. Yeah, so much fun. I want you guys to understand that your leadership style is your own. Do not try to be don't try to be me, my style. Don't try to be Wendy. Don't try to be Lisa Roberry. The success of it, yeah, go for all that. But don't try to be somebody you're not, because people, your frontline, especially your frontline that know you, are going to be like, oh, she's different on here than she is in person, right? We don't want to freak them out. We don't want them to think that we're like playing some role, because we're not. We're just the same people that we are before we jumped into Sense, okay? So just be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else, because it won't last and it feels disingenuous. Okay, disingenuous. Yeah. Also, when I was talking about leaders not being about yourself, leaders are servant. Have you guys ever heard of servant leadership? You hear a lot in church. I learned about servant leadership in church, but it's about leading with our head, heart, and hands. It's about being available, not at their beck and call, but being available. If you are never available, or you never return phone calls or texts or emails or respond to anybody on a platform, then you are not available. Okay. And a leader at some point needs to be accessible. Maybe we have them wait 24 hours for a text that they can actually find the answer to. That's fine, whatever. Get into that in a second. But if you are never available, then you might want to really self-evaluate. And tonight we're going to talk about a couple things, and I want you guys to let your guards down, because none of us are a perfect leader. I'm far from a perfect leader, but there are areas that we can put our finger on and say, okay, this pulse is a little weak. Let me straighten that. And not just for the trip, not just for the trip, but to have a strong team. And it starts from the top. We can blame everybody else and their mama, and I'm going to talk about that right now, but it starts trickling from the top. Okay? So leading with our head, heart, and hands, what does that mean? Head. Leading with our minds, what we've learned, we're sharing with them. We're constantly learning so that we could pour into them. How can we pour something we don't know? Let me ask you this. When is the last time you went on YouTube and learned something new so that you could share with your team? If you have, put it in the comments. I would love to know. If you haven't, just say, I haven't. And that's okay. In this space of leadership, we are vulnerable, we are transparent, and that's how we grow. When is the last time you learned You, Me, Who? Project broadcast, ways to send emails via MailChimp, way to use Canva. Okay, Christina, good, Maria, that's okay. But this is where we put our finger on the pulse. That's okay, Maribel, we're here tonight, girlfriend. And I'm gonna share an area where I fell short recently. Happens. But we have our finger on the pulse. So there you go. There's one pulse thing. If you guys want to highlight, Christina, Maribel, training, learn something new, or strengthen an area. If you're great at Facebook parties, but you want to learn how to take it to another level, go on YouTube and watch Sensi Facebook parties, Sensi bag parties, Sensi bingo parties, whatever it is, just go on, learn. And guess what? You can do one of two, well, you could do many things, but one thing you could, after you watch it and you take your notes, you can call a team watch party via Zoom and say, hey guys, you know what? I really enjoyed this training and it was very beneficial. I put this into practice and I got some success. Let's watch it together and you tell me what your thoughts are. Okay. Or you can take notes during that training and do your own training via Zoom or in person, right? I know that kind of freaks some people out to do trainings in person. You don't have to, you can do it via Zoom, but hey, when you hit director, you start taking on a lot of that responsibility yourself for doing team meetings and stuff like that, okay? If some people are like, I don't want to hit director, then yes, you do, because there's so many perks. And I posted that in the leaders page the other day. Did you guys see it, the perks of being a director? You definitely want to do that, okay? And then leading with your heart. That means we're loving on our team. And we are not condemning them for not living up to our standards or our expectations, because this is their business, is what they want it to be. Okay? And I'll talk about that more in a second. And then hands. We are leading by example. How many of us, and don't give me no faces, control your body language. I'm just asking a rhetorical question for you to think about. Don't comment either. Don't comment a name. How many of you guys have heard, you guys should recruit, we have to recruit, we have to hit this, we have to do that, but they're not doing it? The person that's telling you to do it is nowhere on the 500 PRV and above. They're nowhere on the recruiting list. We have to lead by example. That's where our hands come in. We have, when we're putting together mailers, are we sharing that, or we're like, no, my idea, I don't want them to copy me. My idea, mine. Right? It takes 5 minutes at the most to lay everything out, take a quality picture, either post it in your team group page or send it via text. Hey, this is what I'm working on, guys, just in case you need some ideas on how to expand your customer base or how to send some happy mail or whatever, right? Lead by example. Show them what you're doing so that they can know you're actually doing, so they can respect you and they can follow you with their guard down. I don't want to follow a leader that tells me to do something that he or she is not doing, right? I don't want to follow a leader that only texts me on the first of the month and the last of the month. We're going to talk about that. I don't want to follow a leader that ghosts me, right? Don't comment on that, okay? Anyways, so that's hand, heart, and hands. But let me just say this. Their business is also not ours. We cannot expect us from them. If you have read, I think it's called, it's not Atomic Habits, The Dream 5 Minutes. I gotta find the book. But if you read the book, it talks about the 1%ers, the people that go above and beyond, the people that strive to reach the top or the best in anything they do. Those are called the 1%ers. We cannot expect the 99%ers to be a 1%er. Either they are or they're not. They can build up to it if they are not, but sometimes, most of the time, you're going to see your 1%ers come in hot and stay hot. Even in the seasons of hardship, they're going to still keep pushing. And I would say all of you guys here are 1%ers. We have 5 something in the group right now. We have 13 on. Do you see what I mean? The 1%ers. Doesn't make them any less. It just, priorities are different, desires are different, wants are different, schedules are different. They might come and watch this later, they might not. We cannot expect us from them. And let me say this before we dive into how to work with them. Their performance is not a reflection of your leadership. 2 ways here. If you're not present and you don't give them a strong start, then hey, that might affect them if they're not a 1%er that are going to go after it on their own. They may need to be handheld. In the beginning, just kind of guide them. Okay, now you do your Facebook group. Now you have your launch party. This is how you build your customer base. When you're running low, here's where you go. Others are going to find it on their own. But if you've done all that, if you're a present leader, if you make yourself available, if you do all this stuff and they still don't perform or bring results, that doesn't say that you're a bad leader. It just says they're not ready for it or they don't want it. And that's okay. That's why we have to keep recruiting. When's the last time you guys recruited? Comment. You guys could comment that one. When's the last time you brought somebody in to the squad? It's okay. If it's been a while, just say. Majority, a year, Teresa. Let me see. Good, Teresa. That's you've been sharing on your team. March, Jamie. Ariel brought in yesterday her mom, right? Your mom. Teresa was a year ago. Christina was 2 months ago. Nicole was a year ago. Okay. And I bet you guys have noticed your teams have dwindled, right? You lost some of your front line. You lost some of your team. Andrea said a few days ago, Ariel, no, a friend, but my mom in the next couple of days. Oh, okay. I thought that was your mom that you got it. You did have a reinstate, Teresa. Good. That means you created a community they want to come back to, which I'll talk about. Majority of these people that come in and join Sensi join for themselves. They're not trying to be crazy money. They're not trying to work this full time. They're trying to get a discount on their product, maybe a little extra cash. They're not committed to you. They're not committed to me. Carol said 10 months ago. Okay. And she started out strong too. I remember Carol and her team. They have no intent on doing any more than that, and you will not change their mind, and you will waste your time, and you will get stressed out and frustrated if you do try. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that right now. Love them where they're at. Every single teamie that we have, regardless if they're a sometime, if they're a hobbyer, if they're a kidnapper, in their first 70 days, you will kind of catch a vibe of the type of consultant they're going to be. Does that mean they're going to stay that way? No, but you'll kind of get a vibe on how to work with them, how much they want it, and how much you're going to pour into them, whatever. Love them where they're at. So most of you guys don't have new teamies that are within the first 70 days, but I want you to still take note on this because this is very important, especially in the incentive trip right now, because they get points and we get points for Sensational Start 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so if you bring in a new teamie, the first 70 days, we'll talk about right now. I don't want to get ahead of myself. Love them where they're at. We need the hobbyists to put in 200 every so often. We need the part-timers that just want to kind of do this and be active every month or a little bit more. We need the ones that want leadership. We need the ones that want to be superstar director. Every single person is valuable. And if we don't treat them that way, they're not going to want to stay. Okay. Some will just stay and do the 200 once a year. I have those. Some will do 200 just to be active every month. And they just order themselves. And we have to just love them where they're at and not impress our desires, wants, needs, goals upon them, but rather talk about theirs. And we'll talk about that right now. There's still a vital part. So their first 70 days, like I said, don't tune me out if you don't have a new teamie, because you should be getting some new teamies this season. And I want you guys to really understand this. Their first 70 days is the most crucial part of their business. And that's why they have incentivized it so heavily. What do we have? Shooting star in the first 15 days, right? Oh my God, Nicole, he's so big. I'm like, he's not a baby anymore.
No.
Oh my gosh.
He's me too in October. He's all running around, handing me everything.
I was looking right, I'm like, he's walking around. Yeah. Sorry, squirrel. First 70 days. The first 15 days is shooting star. Why? Because they want, Sensei knows that the first 2 weeks of this business, if they're excited and they're hitting goals, it's going to keep them engaged. So they have incentivized the first 2 weeks, the first 15 days, from the moment they join, the minute they get that post, I mean, that little video saying welcome or whatever, that's when their 15 days start. Not the next day, it starts then. So from that moment on, we grab them and we do not let go. And what do I mean by that? Well, Rihanna, they don't really want to do nothing. They ignore me. I don't care. You keep offering to help. Hey girl, just following up. How you doing your 15 days? We're going to talk about what to do with within the enrollments. But I'm talking about the first 70 days right now. Just want to check in. How you doing? Do you need some ideas? Would you like a launch party? The launch party should be discussed in the orientation that we do with them within the first 24 to 48 hours, which I'll talk about. I think I've done a training on the exact breakdown of how I onboard my new teamies. And I have that on my YouTube. You guys can get that. Also, there is a form that I go and check off. Okay. And then it goes to certified. Once they hit their 15 days, then it goes to certified. And this is where their bonus comes in, their first promotion comes in. This is where it excites them, right? Then once they hit that, we're off into Sensational Start 1, 2, and 3. And by the end of the 70th day, you'll kind of gauge where they're at. Either they're ghosting you, they're trying, and they're kind of doing it, but they're kind of struggling, or they're a freaking firecracker. Okay? It's the most crucial. How we welcome them. How do we welcome our new teamies? Do we have, and don't comment, you can say yes or no, but don't comment the name. Do you guys have people in your line, or maybe you're one of them, that you're having people join and then you don't do anything with them? You don't welcome them. You don't follow up with them. Do you have downline that are doing that? If you do, because I have had conversation with some of my downline, I'm like, girl, that's awesome. Congratulations on your new teamie. How are you onboarding? Oh, am I going to do that? I don't want to do that. And I'm just like, guess what I do? I reach out to them. If your downline leader is adding people to your team, to your group, and not training them, and you know they're not training them, that is your green light. to reach around them and get these people trained. Why? Because if that leader falls off, they roll up to you. And not only that, is you want to give that person a fair chance to have success in this business. There's somebody that I have in my group that will not stop sponsoring, but she will not train for nothing. So I know when I seen a new teamie come, I'm like, okay, I'm going to reach out. I'm going to reach out. It is what it is. I can't stop her from sponsoring, so, or recruiting, because sponsoring is actually taking care of them, but it is what it is. They need to feel welcome. They need to be added to the squad goals page. Or if you're a director and you only want to invite them to your team page, that's fine too, but it's great for them to know that they're part of a bigger community and to celebrate with each other and be part of that, okay? So make sure that you welcome them and you add them to the page immediately. Don't waste time. You want to add their picture and introduce them and let us rally with them. Hey, welcome, we're so glad you're here. Oh my God, you're gonna have so much fun, to get them excited, okay? Don't isolate them. Even if you don't want to be part of the page, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but even if you don't want to, let them have the option to be, because it's a great community, okay? Let them get the connection. Let them feel the connection of Sensi. Welcome them. I send a welcome packet. You don't have to do that. In my welcome packets, like a little postcard or a little handwritten note, a Sensi pencil. You get them from the Sensi store, like, I don't know, like $8 or $5 for a pack, something like that. I have the commission breakdown highlighted at Essential Consultant of what they're getting paid. I actually did a breakdown on this. It's also on my YouTube, but I'm just kind of telling you guys what I send, like off the top of my head. I send a stickers, a motivational sticker that I get on Amazon in a bulk pack for like $6 for 100 stickers. Most of them say you got this, girl power, stuff like that. I send them a highlighted receipt saying make sure you get all of this information as you're collecting orders, because some people, when they're new, they're just taking orders and they're losing customers information, and follow-up information, because they don't know that they should get that. I have a whole breakdown. I have 10 tips for new consultants that I print out and I include it there. I throw in some candy. I throw in a felt sample sheet and tell them the difference between felt samples, cubes, wax samples, and scratch and sniff stickers, so they know how that they can do options of samples. I will post that link, okay, because it's a lot. I do a lot in my packets, my welcome packet. I will post that link to the YouTube, and it breaks down from start to finish, how I package it, what's in it, what I print, and it also has the links to print the stuff that's in there. Okay, so I'll do that. When our new teamies join, and this is not too late. This is not too late. If you haven't did it, you can still do this part. Why is my screen yellow? I think I have jaundice. Jesus. Okay, whatever. You could do this still. I encourage you to, actually, especially if maybe you have went ghost on your team, but you're coming back, you're making a comeback, and that's okay. I would encourage you to reach out to your team and ask them their why. Because either way, I do this every so often with my frontline. I'll say, hey, can you tell me what is one reason why you joined Sensi, and what's the reason why you're staying? Because it changes. When I joined for the discount to get paid back on my purchase because I was spending a lot. Now I stay because of the community. I stay because it's my livelihood. Completely changed. And it's good to ask your teamies this every maybe 3 months, maybe quarterly. Hey, has your why changed? I just want to check in with you so I know how to work with you. There's some people that will join and say, I need this as my full-time job. And then 4 months later, they end up getting pregnant and they don't want to work it anymore like this. They want to just do it as a hobby, or vice versa. They're getting a divorce and they need now from a hobby to a full-time job. Okay, how do we get them there? Right? We have to be in their lives. We have to be present. I use Hit 'em Up app. It's now $20 a month. I hate it, but I pay it because it's so convenient. For me, I type up one message, it inserts their name, and I send it off. And they respond, it goes to them separately, and they're able to respond separately. Ask them every couple months, why'd you come and why do you stay? Because it does change, and that will help you work with them. Okay. Any questions so far? Make sure you put them in the comments. Also, when you touch base with them, I like to do the 1st of the month, the 15th of the month, and the last day of the month. Okay. The 1st of the month, I like to ask them their goals. Do you have a goal, a sponsoring goal, a PRV goal, a Senti Club goal this month? Don't panic if they ghost you. Okay, some people just don't want to say, no, I don't have a goal. Some people don't care if they ghost you or not. Don't take it personal, guys, please. Don't get mad and be like, well, F them, I'm not gonna text them anymore. Because trust me, you'll get a response back sometimes and be like, thanks for not giving up on me. I'm just in a tough season. Or thank you for keeping me in the loop. I'm sorry I've ignored you or whatever. Just people have things, you know what I mean? Don't take it personal. Do you ever look at your reports? Do you guys know how to pull reports? If you don't know how to pull reports, comment in there because I might do the next, I might do a training randomly this coming week on how to pull different reports and show you here on Zoom and then just upload it. Do you guys know how to see what your downline is doing? If they're active, if they're about to terminate, if they're gonna lose their downline, if their downline is gonna roll up, if who's close to, okay, Melissa, who's close to promoting, who's close to their 70th, they have, Nicole, and it's, girl, we're talking about it right now. We're trying to get some help. Okay, Jamie. Yeah, they have moved around, Nicole, and I'm like hesitant to show you guys because it might change again, but I don't want you guys to not be able to do that in the meantime. So I think I get out of school at 1 unless my externship changes, but I'll probably try to record something and show you guys step by step on here and then just upload it so you guys can practice it on your own. It's very important to be able to look at your reports and say, let me show you guys this. This is my Frontline Focus binder. All of those are my frontline, okay? They're all current frontline. 97 people. Can you imagine me trying to remember what 97 people are doing every month? It's impossible. I have these sheets and I have uploaded them, but I can upload them again so they're easily accessible to you guys. It's easier to do this on a smaller scale rather than wait till you have a team of 100 and then try to put it together. It gets overwhelming. Talked about this before. If you have yet to put your Frontline Focus system together, it's time. No more excuses, guys. If you want to be successful, if you want to build big, you have to start with your foundation, and that's a system. And I'm not talking about this robotic type of thing where like, okay, I'm going to do this now. No, it's just like you keep track of your frontline. Show you. You keep track of your frontline, and this is, remember where I told you I fell short on? I was still looking at their numbers, but I wasn't logging them. It shows their PRV. Look at all those months I didn't log it. I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect leader. And during these months, if you watch my live on Spotify, you probably understand why I kind of let it slip my mind for a bit. But I keep track of their PRV, how much they're recruiting, what title they're at, how many active frontline they have, how much TWV, what is their team size, and if I've sent them happy mail, the number in the corner, the 27, that's their birthday, because I just like to have that. Okay, do you print the sheet once a year? Yes, from January to December, and then I just log it in because you have You have the months right here. And you just fill it in to the side. I don't know why this column's here. I'm going to delete it when I restructure it next year. I don't care, you know. And this is at a glance. Why? When I'm logging numbers on the first of the month for the previous month, so I logged for July on August 1st, I'm looking. This is what I'm looking at. When you look at this page, you're not just writing numbers and putting them away. I have my phone next to me. Okay, I'm logging numbers from my workstation. I hit performance, start downline report, and then I maximize it at level 1. Do it. I can't show you their numbers. I maximize it to only show me level 1, which is my front line. Then it brings up all my front line and I write down their information. But as I'm writing it, for example, this person had 373 in January, 167 February, 0 March, 0 April, 156 in May, 0 June, 0 July. So this Tammy has been inactive now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Inactive meaning that they have not put a valid $200 order in. 6 months, half a year. Okay, so now that it's hit a 6-month mark, I'm going to, this tells me I need to reach out to this girl and touch base and get a pulse on how she's doing for her business. Hey, so-and-so, I'm just jotting down your numbers for July, and I just wanted to reach out. I'm here if you need any help. You've been inactive for 6 months. If you have a plan to get active, I'm rooting for you. If you need some help, let me know. That's what a leader does. A leader looks out into the pack and says, who's falling behind? Okay, let me go run and give them some water. Let me go run and grab them by the arm and help them. Okay, she might not want that, and that's okay. When I text her, and if she says, no, I don't really want to, I'm good, then I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't take it personal. I know now. Okay, let me give another example of a positive. Let me do, this is a perfect example. This is why it's so good to see it all at once. This girl, 500, 400, 500, 400, 400, 300, not active in July. Why? What's going on? Not for me to hound her and assault her, but to find out this girl is consistently active. What happened last month? Is her family okay? Is she okay? Did something happen to discourage her? If we don't pay attention to that, and then we start to see these same numbers the rest of the time, we've already let so much time go by that we don't, I mean, she could already be checked out. Do you know what I mean? And it could be nothing. It could be she's on vacation and she doesn't care about Sensi right now. And that's okay. But as a leader and our finger on the pulse, when we start to feel like that pulse is fading, hey girl, hey so-and-so, and I haven't got to do this yet because of my schedule, but I'm going to do this probably tomorrow. That's why I said some of my frontline are going to hear from me tomorrow specifically. Hey so-and-so, just checking in. Girl, you've been on fire January through June. I just noticed July was a little bit tougher. Is there something I can help with? Do you want to chat about anything? Just want to check in on you. That's what a leader that care does. If I didn't care, I'd be like, oh, I'll just wait till next month and see what she does. I care. Like, I genuinely care. Are you okay? Do you need prayer? Do you want to talk? Do you want to go have coffee? Do you want to, like, do you need help? Is your customer base dwindling and you need help? This person has told me she doesn't want to sponsor, but look at her numbers. She's consistent. So what does that tell me? What does that tell you guys about somebody that's consistent with their numbers but doesn't want to sponsor? And then 1 month they drop off. What does it say? To me, it says, okay, maybe her customer base is starting to dwindle and she needs help with building that. I wouldn't know that if I'm not looking at her numbers offhand. I'm not trying to dig through the computer because reports are wild, like Nicole said. I'm not trying to do all that. Everything is there. If somebody's been recruiting every single month, then they stop, they haven't been recruiting for like 3-4 months. I'm gonna be like, okay, what's happening? Is she okay? Is she okay to train? Is she okay to sponsor? That's where the heart part comes in. We have to be in touch with our teammates. Does that make sense, you guys? You guys are quiet in the chat. Do you have a frontline? Okay, do you have a frontline that's active every month? Where are we at now? The 8th month. Do we have frontline that is just killing it every month, even if it's $200? Why aren't we celebrating them? Why aren't we, or some of us are, but this, I'm not attacking anybody. I'm saying as an idea on how to love and nurture and love on our teammates. Why aren't we saying, girl, I just want to shout out Ashley because she has been active for the past 3 months consistently. You go, girl, way to work your business consistently. Or I just want to shout out so-and-so for hitting this lifetime PRV. That is another one of the areas I fall short on consistently, because I forget about it to add onto my plan, which I just added it 2 days ago. People celebrate that 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, 100,000. That's huge to be able to sell that much Scentsy. Hey, I just want to shout out Nicole tonight. She hit 50,000. I know you're more than that. She hit 50,000 in lifetime sales. Way to go, girl. I'm so proud of you. Loving on our team is creating a sticky community that they don't want to leave. Nobody wants to leave a community where they're praised and complimented and encouraged. Christina, your frontline has been struggling. We're going to talk about that. Jamie, one that's active every single month. The others are not invested right now. They go hard with certain releases. That makes sense, and you're gonna get that. We have those. I have people that only buy Disney for themselves. That's it. I have one girl that might come back, and she's my best Disney customer. I'm just like, okay, that's fine. Come in for whatever your reason is. We need to love them where they're. Maybe they don't want to sponsor, and you're like, oh, what am I gonna do? She doesn't want to be a leader. She doesn't want to do this. Matter. She's consistent in her PRV, which means she still may need your attention, even if it's not with sponsoring. She needs your attention to help her build her customer base. She needs your attention to help her learn how to build a Disney fan base. She needs your help. They need our help. Okay. That sticky community that we build is huge. Teresa, that's why you're able to get your teamie back, because you built that sticky community where she wanted to come back and be part of it. I had a couple reinstates this month. I had a reinstate a few months ago because of the community that we create. Imagine you hound your teamies, you make them feel bad for not being active, or you're not hitting your goals, so you make them feel bad. Do you think they're going to want to come back? Heck no. They're going to be like, I don't want to be part of that. That makes me feel horrible. Right? That guy makes me cringe, and whenever I see his name, right? So let's get into it. High impact activities done really well. Chloe taught on this, and she did a training on it, and I'm gonna try to get her in here to do a detailed on it, because she's just, I love her. She's one of my favorites. But if you want to grow, you need to teach your team. You need to funnel them, teach them how to work. If they don't know how to work, they're not going to do anything. What do I mean by that? How to make samples, how to do Happy Meal, how to not break the bank, how to what's the word I'm looking for? How to maximize their host rewards. Some of them are putting orders in without even being attached to a party because they don't know. So they're not getting that bonus. Where does that fall on? Maybe underlying, yes, them, but why aren't we telling them that? Why aren't we teaching them how to, on my new teamies, I say, before you close your order, let me walk you through how to cash in your rewards with the biggest bang. And then I'll show them the bundles. I'll show them, what's your point? Do you guys want inventory? No, I don't want inventory. I just want to, okay, do you want to be able to just get stuff for your house, or do you want to be able to send stuff to your customers with no out of pocket? I teach them about send circles. If they want to do events, I teach them about the Sensi system bundles and how to use their rewards for that. Be an asset, educate them, teach them how to work. Teach them about home parties. When's the last time we talked to our teenies about home parties or bag parties, catalog parties? In order to expand our customer base, yes, this world is changing, but we need to teach our people how to get in front of people to expand our reach, because eventually their customer base is going to run out. Even if they're all excited and buying right now, they're going to get burned out. And then what? They're going to be in shock. Now what do I do? Nobody's buying. So your leader comes in to be like, hey, this happens. It's normal. You exhausted your first circle. Now we're going to talk about how to get out of that circle. Then we're going to teach them how to get into their employment. Then we're going to teach them how to go to Target and talk to people. We're going to teach them how to do fundraisers. We're going to teach them how to do a bingo party. How can we teach them if we don't know? Right? When is the last time you talked to your people about partying? It's okay if you haven't, but there's that pulse. I hope you're taking notes on some areas, and we're not trying to do everything all at once in one day. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't be crazy. Write your list of some things that your pulse is kind of fading on, and get stronger in that area so that you can show your team. During these home parties, you guys, I encourage people to have a launch party. I encourage them to have a relaunch party. Listen to this. I offered my certified consultants, which I have a ton, for me to do a live fall launch party, and they invite their customers, certified consultants and essential consultants. I invited my frontline. I'm going to do a Facebook Sensi party. And I said, hey, message me back if you would like to be part. I'm going to do all the work. You sit back, take notes, invite your people. I'm going to direct them to your link. You get the sales. I'm going to talk about joining. I'm going to talk about hosting. Invite them. Out of my, let's just say 30, 40 certified consultants, guess how many responded to me doing the work? 3. 3. It's the one, that's 10%, but it's the 1%ers that want it and try to grow. Does it make the other ones bad? No. It just means that they don't want it. Literally, all they have to do is sit here, invite their friends, and watch me do all the work. Okay? But those type of parties are what grows you. It gets you out of your shell. It challenges you. It teaches you how to upsell. I'm going to be talking about that. I get it, Teresa. Sometimes they're going to say no. But our job as a leader is to express the belief in them and speak life and courage into them and say, I think you're going to do great. I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to do your party for you. You're just going to stand next to me and you're going to mentally take notes, so you can have a notebook. We're going to play some games. We're going to have some fun with your friends. Okay, that's our job. If they say no, that's on them. As long as we're doing our part and we know we're not saying, I'm too scared to do a launch party for them. Why? You're their sponsor. They chose you. Be bold. Have courage. Step out. Do the hard things and the scary things. Do it scared. Then next time you're not scared, or you might be a little scared, but as you go, you harden up in a good way. So I just said get them on the team page. Now, this can be controversial. Sorry, my phone is going bananas. But I've talked to Chuck and I've talked to the powers that be. If you guys have downline, I have them, sure they're out there, that are not working with their team, and you have reached out to your downline and they either ignore you or they don't have time or they make excuses, that's your green light, okay, to go work with them. If they don't like it, guess what? Then they can message you and say, hey, Nicole, why are you working with I don't know, is Jackie in your line? I'll just say that. Why are you working with Jackie? Oh, because I reached out to you, I didn't hear back from you, and I want to make sure Jackie has what she needs. Simple as that. That's the truth. You reached out first to sponsor ignores you, makes excuses. You go and you talk to downline. Okay, I don't care how many legs beneath you, generations there are beneath you, you reach out to them because they need us. They need leaders in their lives that are taking responsibility and reaching for these people that want the business but just don't know. Some people just don't know how. Not everybody is a natural leader. Not everybody is a natural go-getter. Some people need the little bumper rails. If they don't have that, they'll be like, this is too much for me. It's too overwhelming. I can't do it. I don't know. Not everybody's gonna do that, you guys. So there is your green light. And I encourage you to do that as soon as possible. Teach them to teach their team. So what you're teaching them is replicatable. Teach them to teach their team what you're teaching them. Don't let it stop there, because then guess what? Then after your frontline, which I have seen happen sometimes, after your frontline closes up, guess what? That funnel is no longer available from what you taught them. So these people down here are getting a whole different type of vibe, and they don't know why they're not successful. They don't understand, because she's successful and she's successful, but why is it? It's because the funnel's closed. The training stopped. The influence stopped. The support stopped. Be the sponsor that you wish you had. If you don't have a good sponsor, who cares? But be that sponsor. You're in a sponsoring role now. Be that sponsor that you wish you had. Make sure they know the comp plan. I encourage you guys to have a Zoom chat, a text chat, and upload the image, and help them know the compensation plan. Why? Damn it, I was gonna print it out and I didn't. Why? Because if they're an essential consultant, show them their commission. Show them how much it jumps when they hit certified. Show them how it jumps when they hit lead. Show them how they, and then ask them, you guys have good enough sized teams to be able to do this one-on-one or in a small group over coffee or dinner or whatever. Show them, what's your paycheck this week, this month? Let's break it down. So you look at their paycheck and then show them, hey, look, if you promote to lead, this is what your check will be, would have been. Next month, hey, if you promote to star, this is what your check would have been. Give them something to grasp, because when people look at that comp plan, they don't understand it and they're not motivated, they're not driven. We have one of the best compensation plans in the direct sales industry. That's one of our main things that we get accolades on, is our compensation plan, because it's huge. You might not notice it when you're lead. You might not notice huge when you're star. But that jump to superstar, and that jump to director, and that jump to star director, and that jump to superstar director, good Lord Almighty. And it hasn't changed in 20 years of our business. Another thing we get accolades on is our compensation plan does not change. There's been several direct sales companies where they adjust the compensation plan as time goes. We haven't did that. We're like, this is what you're getting paid, and it's stuck. We're there. We're not going to make it less. Break down that freaking compensation plan and let them see what is next in line for them if they work. And then tell them how to do it. Before we close, some high impact habits. Helping them expand their customer base. Train yourself on how to expand. If you're struggling with expanding your customer base, you better go freaking expand your customer base before you tell them to do it, or do it alongside and say, hey group, I've done this with club. Hey guys, I'm struggling with club. Let's freaking do a challenge. Let's do this together. Okay? But don't you dare go and tell them to do it when you have 112 PRV. at the end of the month and you're telling them they need to get sales. No, honey, you need to get sales before you go and tell somebody else to get sales. Okay. Talk to them about booking parties. If you're not strong, train yourself. Get out and do something, lock arms with them and do it with them. Do booking blitz. Follow-up system. Talk to them about their follow-up system. If you don't have a follow-up system, you better freaking get one in place before you tell them to do it. Teach them how to do follow-up system, because there's so much money being lost and customers being scooped up by other Scentsy consultants because we are not following up. And then we wonder why our sales are dwindling. Teach them about showing up, how important it is to attend stuff like this, SFR, team meetings in person, online. Teach them how important it is. Teach them to set goals. Have you talked to your teamies about annual mentor and annual sales yet? If you haven't, it's okay. Do it now. When I first joined, I missed annual sales by $27 because I didn't know about it. I was working and I almost had it and I didn't know. I love Carol. She's the best. I miss her so much. I wish she was here. But she didn't tell me about annual sales. And then I find out I miss it 4 days after by $27. I didn't know about it because I was so busy hustling. I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. I was building so fast. If you haven't talked to your team about annual sales and annual mentor yet and the incentive trip, you need to. Teach them how to sponsor. Have those conversations early. And if it's been a while, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You can still have those conversations. Reach out to your teamies. Even if you've already talked to them months ago and they said they don't want to sponsor, guess what? I'm going to have those conversations tomorrow with my frontline. So if you're my frontline, you'll be getting that text tomorrow. Hey, how are you? How do you feel about sponsoring? What do you think about leadership? What do you feel like you want to start accepting some people into your team, and I'll help you mentor them if you do. So they know they're not alone. Some people are scared because they're like, I don't know what to do. I can't, I don't know enough. You don't have to know anything. I'll teach you as we go. Reach out to your team and ask them about sponsoring. Okay. I already talked about that. Having a leadership community. Leaders build leaders. Stop trying to do everything for them and let them do it. You teach a man how to fish, you fed him for a lifetime. Because you could just keep giving answers all you want, but they're going to keep coming to you and they're not going to learn anything. Teach them accountability. Build leaders, not sheep. We're going to have some sheep, but we can also have leaders. If you want to become a director, you need leaders. You cannot be a director without frontline leaders. Okay, it won't happen. If you're not selling in closing, if you're not selling and recruiting yourself, you take a step back and you do that first. You cannot go and preach what you're not doing. Okay, please don't do that. You will lose all respect from your team. What are some things that you can help them with? Help them check goals for their month. Ask them how their life is. Ask them if they'd like to start sponsoring. You'll help them. Ask them if they want to earn a trip. Ask them if, talk to them about consistent PRV. Talk to them about consistent sponsoring. Encourage them with their team. I have somebody in my line that has a big amount of team under them and they're kind of falling off. Reach out to them and say, hey, what's going on? Can I be of help? Your team loves you. Your team is excited for you. Reach out to your inactive leaders. Reach down beneath them if they ignore you. Reach out to any of your inactive people, offer some help. Remind everybody about the 1,000 PRV consistent bonus points. If you have somebody towards the end of the month that is like 800, 900, hey, so-and-so, you're so close to 1,000, that'll be month 1 for points for the trip. If you get 4 more after that, you get 1,000 trip points, right? Be an asset. In a nutshell, guys, have to be present for your frontline. You cannot go ghost. I know life is tough and I know life is busy and I know we have family, kids, stuff, all the stuff. Sit your tail down at some point during the day, look at their numbers, start a Frontline Focus binder or notebook, whatever you want, so that you have it really quick at a glance, and start texting, start messaging, start scheduling meetups, start scheduling phone calls. This is going to be the way, and this is the way that I built so fast, is relationships with my frontline. And they in turn did that with their people, and I kept building, and of course God's favor. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. But you have to focus on your frontline. Sometimes we get so busy and so caught up in our own business that we forget about them. Reach out, check on them, ask if they need help, train them, give them ideas, show them how you're working, and just be present and challenge them in asset. Be a great leader. And all of you guys on here are, I can really say that, but about everybody on here. I don't care where you fall short, where you have been inconsistent. We all have some areas in our lives where we fall short in leadership. Just keep your finger on the pulse, and then when you start feeling it, you're like, okay, let me focus on something else now. Keep your pulse on the frontline pulse. I mean, keep your fingers on that frontline pulse. Create the community they don't want to leave, or that they would want to come back to. Okay. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I will upload this on my YouTube. I'm going to try to do it tonight because I'm going to be slammed tomorrow. But I love you guys. Go out, be a great sponsor. Go out, love on your people. Go out and get trained so that you could train others. Don't be shy, be bold, be courageous. Go out there and talk to your team, get new teamies. Don't be shy. Go to Target, go to the bank, go to Starbucks, talk about it, because this is a blessing. There's so many people struggling and don't know where they're going to get some extra money, and this could be a blessing for them that you are holding on to. Okay, don't be stingy with this blessing. Don't be insecure when you're talking about people, because you could be holding their blessing from them. Okay, much bigger than us. Have a good night, guys. Love you.